If I buy you a coffee, it's obvious you might think I'm being nice. But what's less obvious is that you're now easier to influence. Confused. Let me explain. Your brain just performed a calculation in less than a second. It didn't weigh my history, my tax returns, or my moral character. It took a thin slice of data, a smile, a gesture, a cup of caffeine, and instantly filed me under friend. This is the core of the human experience, the obsessive lightning-fast need to read minds. We aren't just observing each other. We are running high-fidelity simulations of one another's consciousness every second of every day. We call it intuition, but in reality, it is a sophisticated piece of biological software called theory of mind, and it is designed to work at the speed of light. Imagine you're on a date with your crush. The stakes are high, which means your brain's simulation software is running at overclock speeds. You suggest a specific dessert spot. She says, "Yeah, that sounds great." It's a positive response, technically. But there was a tiny pause before she answered. A small shift in her expression, a micro-expression, that leaked a flash of hesitation and before her social mask snapped back into place. You go to the shop, you order, and you sit down. You start talking. You crack a few jokes. She's smiling, but her body is slightly turned away, or she's laughing, but there's a small delay before it happens. You don't think much of it at first, but slowly your attention starts shifting. You ask a question. She replies normally, but doesn't really expand. No extra detail nor follow-up. Now you're wondering if she's getting bored, or if that's just how she talks. She looks at you often, but also looks away quickly. And now your brain starts filling in the gaps. Shy, nervous, interested, uncomfortable. Without realizing it, you start second-guessing yourself too. And somehow things have managed to get even worse than before, because this is no longer just about what she's thinking or feeling. It has quietly, almost sneakily, become about you as well. You start replaying everything you said earlier. Was that joke a bit too much? Did you talk too fast, too eager, too much all at once? Should you have said something completely different to keep her more interested? And somewhere in between all those thoughts, a quieter one shows up. But what's actually happening here isn't confusion about her. It's your brain filling gaps it can't ignore. Later that day, you get home. You open your phone and see a short, low-effort message. And suddenly you start reading into it again. What does it mean? Did she lose interest? Did I miss something? And that's when the thought hits you. What if I could just actually read people's minds instantly? The truth is you're already doing it. This doesn't just happen in dating. It shows up in almost every interaction you've ever had. You're not really reading people in the way you think you are. You're running a deeper system in the background, something your brain has been doing long before you ever noticed it. This is theory of mind, your mind's attempt to simulate other minds. It doesn't access their thoughts. It builds instant predictions. Sometimes it's empathy. Like when you see someone get hurt and your body reacts before you even process it. Your brain is running a quick simulation of their experience, almost as if it's testing it inside your own head. Other times it's even faster and more automatic. You don't consciously analyze anything. You just catch a small expression, a pause, a tone, and your mind instantly builds a story around it. This is thin slicing, the ability of our unconscious to find patterns in situations and behavior based on very narrow windows of experience. It's how you can walk into a room and instantly know the vibe is off, or meet someone and instantly decide you don't trust them. When she looks away quickly on that date, your mirror neurons are simulating that avoidance. Your brain isn't guessing, it's mimicking. But the problem is all of this is powerful, but not always accurate, because when information is incomplete, your brain doesn't stay neutral, it doesn't wait. It fills in the gaps using patterns, past experiences, and assumptions. This is where the instant read becomes a persistent lie, which is why something as small as a short message or a slight shift in expression can suddenly feel like it carries massive meaning, even when it might not. And that's where most misunderstandings begin. Not in what people actually say, but in the stories we build around what we think they meant in that first instant impression. And maybe that's the uncomfortable part.